Okay, welcome back to the Horse Corner. It's been a minute since I have shown my face on this channel. There are cats here already. Lucy is here. Hi. Okay, so this is one of the two videos that I like to do leading up to BreyerFest. So we are in June, which, can someone please tell Mother Nature that it's mid-June, because it's rainy and I'm literally wearing long sleeves and I have a blanket because it's so cold. So somebody tell Mother Nature that it is in fact June. But it is, and so I like to do 2 videos leading up to BreyerFest, and then typically 2 or 3 after BreyerFest. I like to do a video talking about all of the models. I like to do my version of that video as close to BreyerFest as I possibly can, so that I can talk about as many models as possible. Thank you. And then, of course, I do my annual collection tour. So today we are here to do the first of those 2 videos, which is to talk about all of the BreyerFest models and Lucy, apparently. And I'm going to talk about like my personal plans and some other stuff at the end. But mostly we're here to talk about the models, which is always fun. Poppy, sponsor me and my 1,000 followers on YouTube. Okay, so I have my handy dandy little iPad here because there's no way I could memorize everything, especially with the way that Breyer names their models these days. There is no way I was going to remember everything. So we are talking, of course, about BreyerFest 2025. The theme is Cheers to 75 years. So it's Breyer's 75th anniversary, not BreyerFest's 75th anniversary. It's the company's 75th anniversary. And so the BreyerFest theme is anniversary related, and there's lots of party elements and celebration elements. The logos are super cute. All of their all of their marketing and their graphics have been so cute and super fun. So I've enjoyed that as a marketing person. But let's talk about the horses. The celebration model is Tight Lines or Fish, which is so cool because I remember when Fish was, well, Fish pre-retirement. He is retired now, so he is not competing at the top levels anymore. I remember when Fish was like actively in his prime. It was around the time that I was eventing, and so I would always be so excited to watch him and Will go around. I even saw them, I believe I saw them in Kentucky in person a few times. I think that those years aligned with a few of the times that I went to Rolex back when I was eventing. And just so cool. Like, such a good choice on Breyer's part. Will is an incredible horseman, and the fact that I don't quite think people grasp how big of a deal it is that like Will Coleman is coming to BreyerFest. He is huge in the like national and international eventing scene. And to have snagged somebody like that to come to BreyerFest is really, really, really cool. He's a class act, he's an incredible horse person, and Fish is a really cool horse, so to have them at BreyerFest is like, it's so cool. If I had the time, this is probably the first time ever I would have actually been interested in getting my celebration model signed. I don't have time. I won't have time to stand in that line to meet them, but so cool regardless. Fantastic choice from Breyer on that. The model is on the cigar mold, which arguably doesn't do anything for me, but it's a celebration horse. It's free with your ticket, and so that doesn't affect me whatsoever. I'm just happy with the choice of person and horse. I think that that is so cool. Arguably, like, in my opinion, one of the coolest choices they've ever made for a celebration horse and rider in terms of like equestrian sport world. So I'm just excited with the choice. And then he is coming with a really, really cute... She just, like, wants to be the main character this time around. He's coming with a really, really cute blanket that has his logo, or has, I'm sorry. The blanket has the BreyerFest Cheers to 75 Years logo on it. Super cute, and they actually, we got to see it in Kansas at Breyer Midwest. They've developed a way to where the blanket won't be on the horse in the box, so you don't have to worry about ink bleeding onto the just like bare plastic gray horse. It is in the box, but it's like adhered to the box backer instead and like packaged in separately, so you don't have to worry about the bleeding, which is really nice. That means that Breyer like listened when that's been an issue in the past. So you get the blanket, but it doesn't come on the horse. So that is Tight Lines or Fish. And then, girl, you are causing a scene. And then there will, of course, be a glossy version of him for diorama contest winners and possibly some other roles or uses for them, but there is a glossy version. We haven't seen pictures of it yet as of time of filming, but it was mentioned in the rules for entering the diorama contest, so we at least know that it exists and is going to be used in a similar capacity as it has been in past years. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Of course, there are also the event stablemates. So there's Fish. He is the all-access celebration horse. And then there are the single-day stablemates. They're called event stablemates now, but they are your lower-cost ticket models. The ticket structure is so complicated, I'm not getting into that in this video. If you want to know more about it, go read Breyer's website. That's all I'll say about the tickets. So the stablemate set is called Break Out the Bubbles, and there are 4. And I love them all. I don't think I've ever wanted to keep all 4 models from an event stablemate set before this. I will be keeping all 4 of these. They are so good. I remember when these got announced, I was like, what? Like, what did they do? Like, they're all good. Normally, there's always an outlier for me where I'm like, nope, that one doesn't need to live here. Not this time. There is a super cute polo pony on the I think it's 3 thoroughbred. The one that we got the new variation on in the Stablemate Club last year in Newport. They did a chestnut leopard Appaloosa named Bellini on her. So cute. I love this one. She will look super cute next to, I'm pointing like you can see, the Santiago Classic, the Gambler's Choice Collectors Club Classic. That is a polo pony, but it's chestnut blanket Appaloosa. So I thought that was cute. And then the next one is Mimosa, who is a really, really pale, beautiful Palomino Tobiano on the mini Indian pony, which I have started collecting. I sold all of my traditional Indian ponies. I really like the mini though, because they smoothed her out so well and she just looks really good. So she's super cute. Okay, we adjusted because my foot was cramping up. My legs are so sore. I've been running so much and my legs are sore. Okay, next there is, I've been waiting for them to do this color on this mold and they did it and it's gorgeous. This is the Murado mold, which you guys all know that I love, and it is a dark red dappled bay in gloss with some chrome. I think he's got a stripe and a sock. He's so good. His name is Kava. He's my favorite. It's hard because the first two, the two mares, are so nice too. Like, they're all so nice, but he's my favorite. And then Prosecco, who is on the new Augustus mold. He was the new mold for the Stablemates Club last year. He's the beautiful Sarah Mink draft. The sculpt is just so good. I think anything would look good on it. But this guy happens to be a glossy black blanket Appaloosa. No, sorry, they call him Snowflake. Snowflake Appaloosa. He doesn't have enough white to be blanket. Apologies. He's a Snowflake Appaloosa. So those are all of the event models. I think they did great. I love the Stablemates so much. I will definitely be grabbing a pack of those. And my copy of Fish, I'm only getting one. I'm only doing one ticket this year. So my copy of him will get shadow boxed, which we'll talk about. So he won't even really come out of his box. He just gets to be a keepsake from the week, and then I'll hopefully snag those event Stablemates too, because they are gorgeous. I didn't enter the diorama contest this year. That's not something that I do unless I'm really interested in the prize model. And like I said, the cigar mold just isn't one that I enjoy collecting, so there wasn't really a big push for me to enter the diorama contest. If I had like a really good idea off the cuff, I'd probably do it anyways, but I didn't this year, and I wasn't going to push out an entry if I wasn't really interested in the prize. I've got enough to fill my time otherwise. So I did not do that this year, maybe next year. All right, we're moving on to the limited editions. Okay, so the limited editions are models that anyone can purchase no matter your ticket type. So even if you just have a one-day ticket or an online Stablemates access ticket, you can get these horses. You buy them in the BreyerFest store. So all of our portrait traditional models, the classic, the crystal, all of that goes into this category. Anything that's not a special run, an event model, or prize model. Unfortunately, while they did not get me with many special runs this year, they got me good with the limited editions. I kind of want all of them. We'll see. The first one is Bissimma Sapphire, who is this gorgeous shaded chestnut on the S Just a Dream or Oasis mold. This is like the original S Just a Dream variation except for the tail is different. It's so hard to say. There's so many different ways this mold can be done because she has so many different tails, and then she has the head up and then the head down versions. This is obviously the head up version with, I think this is the Oasis tail. I would have to look. It's not like I don't have them right there on my shelf. I'm fairly certain this is the Oasis tail. Anyways, she's beautiful. She is an endurance portrait model. So the portrait model of a champion endurance horse, which I think she's perfectly suited to be. The pictures I've seen of the real horse look pretty darn similar to the model, and she's a beautiful model. I think this is one we're going to see a lot of different shading variations of, with the chestnut and it being darker. So yeah, I definitely want to get one of her. She is really pretty. This is a mold that I love, mostly for childhood nostalgic reasons. So I think that I have to get one of these. The next one is this, it's the new Welsh Cobb mold. He is all black, and I'm just going to call him Nightlife. It looks like he does driving and dressage in Canada. Okay, that's very specific. But he's a Welsh Cobb stallion. Sounds like he's pretty young, and he's gorgeous. He'd make such a cute family with the Welsh mare and foal that are done in just like a solid black. They'd look really cute together. I really like this mold, and I think this is another one where we're going to see some really cool and different variations of this guy. He has dapples. It looks like he has some shading, which is awesome for an all black horse. So I bet we'll get some cool variations of him, which is super fun. This mold is spectacular. I think this is definitely one that I will want to come home with. Okay, and then the last traditional limited edition, besides the web exclusive, is Bow and Arrow, who is a gorgeous chestnut Oero on the Cleveland Bay mold. I think he is a vaulting horse. Yes, he's a vaulting horse. He's super cool. The color is really cool, and I love the Cleveland Bay mold, so unfortunately they got me good with this one too. We saw this guy in Kansas as well, and he is gorgeous in person. So they got me real good with these guys. I would like all 3 of the traditionals this year, which might be the first time that that's happened ever, if not ever, in a very long time. Next is the Classic, which is pretty unique this year. I love what they did with it. It is actually a portrait model. It's not a deco, and it is not just not a deco, but it's a portrait model of Game Day Surprise, who is a quarter horse gelding that does some like bridleless entertainment routines, but it sounds like the style is rooted in reining. He is on the sliding stop classics mold, and then it talks about sliding stops in his description. So it seems like they maybe do performances and stuff, but the training is rooted in reining, and he is a quarter horse. I love this. I love this so much. I've been wanting them to do realistic classics forever because I like limited edition classics, and we don't get very many. We get kind of like the mass-produced regular run classics, which are fine in their own right, and then we get a lot of the limited classics tend to just be decos all the time. And as somebody that doesn't collect decos, there's rarely classics that I want to collect. Maybe once a year if I like the Gambler from the club every year, but this is so cool. I hope they do more of this. Selfishly. I know some people like the deco classics, but I hope they do more runs like this because this is so cool. He looks like he has some really nice details. It looks like he has tri-colored eyes, which would be so cool on a classic. And he's got his Barnes brand on him, which is also very cool. And then he comes with a little like tassel collar that it sounds like the real horse wears in his performances or has worn in a performance at some point. So they made it. And it's in Breyer's colors, which is so cool. Like, he's just really cool. I think that this run is awesome. And a super affordable choice too for somebody that might not have a massive BreyerFest budget. He's under $40. And he's a BreyerFest model that's bigger than a stablemate that you could potentially show. So, anyways, I'll get off my soapbox, but I think he's really cool. I really like him. Okay, and then of course, we have the Best of BreyerFest set this year. Hello, shark. This is our traditional shark. Another gray. This is Socks. She is different. This is not Lucy. There are 2. People don't believe me. I have proof because they snuggle all the time. We think that Socks thinks that Lucy is her mom. Lucy is not her mom, but she's so nice that hi. She's so nice that like she would never turn Socks away. She lets Socks do whatever Socks wants, which is to snuggle her pretty much all the time. So they might as well be mother-daughter, but they're not. Don't tell. Okay, so this is the Best of BreyerFest Series 6, which is crazy because that means I've been doing BreyerFest for 6 years because my first BreyerFest was the first year that they did the Best of Stablemate series. So that's crazy. Okay, so this set, they are minis of models from the 2015 BreyerFest, so 10 years ago. And they're miniatures of all of the prize models. So there is, let's see, the names to rattle them off really quick. We have Revelry, Hullabaloo, Jubilation, Soiree, and Red Letter Day. They are miniatures of Parfait, C'est Bon, Truffles, Creme de la Creme, and Too Sweet. So, there we have it. I love them. I love them. I love all of them. I think that all of them are excellent models. I personally will only be keeping 2 from this set. The mini Truffles and the mini C'est Bon. They're so good though. Like, those are such nice minis. I'm really, really excited for both of them. C'est Bon has dapples, Truffles has dapples and pinking on his nose. Like, they both just look like really, really, really nice models. And then the other 3 will be donated to my photo show and given out as prizes in the month of July. So, they're really cool. They did a great job with this set. Even the ones I'm not keeping, like, the colors are beautiful, the molds are good matches, like, this is just, it's a really good set. They did a really good job. Okay, and then the last 2 are the online only models, which means that they can only be purchased online, but everyone gets access to the online event. So if you're in person and you bought in-person tickets, you can get these horses. You just have to log into your account and order them online. You can't get them in the physical store. That's important. So there is always a traditional and a stablemate. The traditional is Hoopla, which is a Bay Tobiano on the loose mane Bristol mold. People love this guy. He's very, very, very popular. Everyone is super excited about him. He's another one where I could see him having really cool variations in his shading within that shaded bay color. He's not one I'll be getting. I don't collect Bristol. I'm not a big fan of the Bristol mold, which is personal, which is based on personal thoughts and opinions. I know he is very beloved and a lot of people are really excited about this mold. And I'm happy that people are really excited about him and that they're going to be able to get him. He's just not one that I will personally be adding. However, I am thrilled about the stablemate. The online exclusive stablemate is Shindig. And he is this gorgeous, I personally think he looks like a Gruya, but Breyer is calling him Gray. Sabino on the mini Yorg mold. And he is so cute. This color is beautiful. This mold is excellent. He has pinking, which is awesome for a stablemate. And I'm so excited about him. I think he's great. Yeah. And these are the first 2 models that we've talked about where the potential of variations comes into play a little bit. Historically, they have done a variation of the online models that is a deco version of the same model and pattern that were shown in realistic as the preview. That doesn't do anything for me personally. I bet some people will buy multiples in the hopes that that will happen, but we don't know at this point. And for me personally, I just want the realistic one. He's so pretty. The plush. Okay, so the plush is Party Pal. I love the plushes so much. I get the plush every year that I participate at least. So it's Pal, and he has a birthday hat and a cheers to 75 years sash. That's pretty much it. He's fantastic. I love it. The crystal, his name is Standing Ovation, and he is on the Moody ASB or Clock Horse. I imagine this guy is going to be quite popular too. Lots of people like this mold or collect this mold. So he's quite beloved. So I'm sure this will be a popular crystal. Not for me. I don't collect the mold or crystals. You can only collect so many things. They're really cool, and I have almost been persuaded to buy a couple that are on molds that I collect. But I haven't done it yet because where's the room? Where's the room? So he's very cool. I'm sure he will be very popular. Okay, so we are moving on to the special runs. All of these have the potential to have variations. It is the 75th anniversary of Breyer. I think in the past on big anniversaries they've had variation models. Sometimes even when there is no reason to have variations in these runs, they do it anyways, especially as of late. So we'll talk about it. I have no idea what's coming. Nobody does except for the people at Breyer. So we can talk about it, but things may or may not happen. There's just no way of knowing right now. So the first special run is Get This Party Started, who is a black Overo. Well, they're calling her Overo, so she's Overo. She's a black Overo on Croy. And she seems quite popular. The people love Croy. So she seems to be quite popular. Croy doesn't really have any mold variations or like mane or tail variations that we've seen. So if there was any kind of a micro run in there, it would probably be a deco. So anyways, let's get this party started. She doesn't do anything for me personally. I'm not a Croy collector. The one thing that does kind of turn me off a little bit about her is that it looks like her pinking is actually yellow. It's the same color as her hooves, which that's one of my like OF collecting pet peeves, is that the nose should not be the same color as the feet. That is just a personal pet peeve. Doesn't matter in the long run. If you like her, that's awesome. I know she's incredibly popular. So just my personal thoughts on her. Her eyes are beautiful though. There's one blue, one brown, and they're tricolored, so awesome. The next one is Let the Good Times Roll, who is a sooty buckskin or shaded bay leopard Appaloosa on the loose mane version of the show jumping warm blood. Say that 5 times fast. This guy's really cool. I like the show jumping warm blood. They are here. I especially like the loose mane version of this guy. So this is one that I do plan on taking home. He was first on my priority list for my special runs. He's glossy, and there's like a couple different ways this one could shake down. We could see him be like the 50-50 mane tail split that they do sometimes, because he does come braided. Or we could see them do what they did with this guy last year, and they released a glossy to us, but they actually have a matte split. He's not quite 50-50. There was some like reason for the number on him that had to do with the year and whatnot. But it could be like a bigger split of matte versus gloss. There could be a hair split, braided versus loose, or there could be some kind of weird color variation on him. Maybe there's a black version. Black leopards are actually pretty darn common, arguably more common than this color of leopard. So, I don't know. There's a lot that could happen with this run. The next set is Good Times and Great Friends, which is a bay cantering warm blood Mustang mare. Is that what they're calling her? And then the foal looks to be like a light chestnut. It's the rearing Mustang foal. I'm not a fan of these molds myself, so they weren't a need for me, but the colors are beautiful. The colors are so pretty. I think especially the color on the foal is really, really cute. People love glossy things. These are new molds. People also love the mare and foal sets. 2 for the price of 1. So I have a feeling they're going to be quite popular. They're just not for me. It's hard to say what kind of a variation we could see here. In the past, we've seen them sub out the foal that was advertised with a different foal mold. I'd be pretty surprised if they did that here, though, just because these are both new molds and the foal was specifically sculpted to accompany this mare. So I don't think they would do something like that, but we've seen it before. It has happened. They are also glossy, so arguably they could have a glossy matte split. We haven't seen them do that with a mare full set though. So I don't know if that's possible. I guess both things could happen. I don't know if either will. Okay, the next one is the deco for this year, To the Ties That Bind Us, who is a silver, so I think people are going to go crazy over this guy. People go crazy for silver. He is a Wedgwood blue snowcap Appaloosa with the little design that they've been doing for their anniversary models, which is like that the outline of it is model silhouettes or horse silhouettes at the very least. This one's not for me. If he would have just been a Wedgwood blue silver, I would have been all over that. I'm not a big fan of the horse cutout patterns. The only one that I liked, I did actually quite like, and it was the splash that had them kind of like at the bottom of the splash pattern. I don't think they look great on the Appaloosas. There's just like not enough going on to where I really get the appeal of it, but people probably are going to go crazy for this. It's a silver, it's a Wedgwood deco. I can't imagine him being unpopular. I don't know if they typically do variations on the decos. I don't think they do. I'm not a big deco collector, so I'm not as on the up and up with stuff like that. But I don't think they normally do variations on the deco, so I think people are safe from that with him. Although they can do whatever they want. The next SR is Yolo, who is on the Brishin mold. He is a really cool, his color is phenomenal. He is this modern chalky dark dapple gray, and he is on the heavy version of this mold with the loose mane. So there's a lot they could do with him. There is the heavy version of Brishin and then the light version of Brishin, and both the heavy and the light version can either have the loose mane or they can have a plaited mane. So there's a lot of different options of what we could see with this guy. The heavier version of Brishin is kind of by and large the more popular version. So that leads me to think that maybe he might be the main tail split and just only come in the heavy version. That would be a pretty big change to kind of advertise him as a draft horse, and then instead you're receiving a Spanish horse. It's possible, but I think it's probably more likely that they would do the main split, the mane and tail split with this guy. There are a couple different tails too. One just goes straight up and one like wraps around the body. So I think it's more likely that we'll see that with him, which means that I think it's more likely that with the show jumping warm blood, we see a matte gloss split or a color split instead of the main tail, because I think Yolo is going to be the main tail split. Just my own theories. Who knows? All right, the next is something that I can't share with you. It's the Seize the Day surprise, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. Some of the most commonly floated molds that I've heard on the internet are Fireheart, Vallegro, Shenandoah, Troubadour, and Vermeer. I think those are the top 5 that I've heard. I have heard an interesting theory going around about Huck Bay, though, which would be interesting. Pam is going to show up somewhere, y'all. I know it's unlikely that she would be the surprise, but she has to show up somewhere. I thought for sure she'd show up as an overall prize model in the open show, and she didn't. She didn't. She's got to show up somewhere. I don't think she's going to be the surprise, but she's got to show up somewhere. I'm just saying. That's how I feel. So, okay. Next, I love this guy. I want this one too. Next is Hats Off to You. This is the old timer, and he comes with a birthday hat, and his color is so pretty. This mold is so cute and fun and goofy. It's Cookie! Okay, so hats off to you. Getting back on topic. He is this, okay, they're calling him a Gruya blanket Appaloosa with his traditional hat, and then also his party hat. I love his party hat. It's so fun. I love the party hat, and his color is like phenomenal. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. He's just gonna live here. I really want one. His color is so goofy. I feel like I would regret not getting one. I don't collect that mold. And I'm typically like very strict about only buying horses on molds that I collect because of this. Because I do this. Because I'm like, that thing's really cute and fun. I should get it. And then I get it. And then it just sits and I look at it and it brings me joy, but like it doesn't serve a purpose other than that. And that's fine to have pieces that's all that they do. Like, they make you happy, and they should all make you happy. But like, but the space is limited, and you just like, if I bought everything that I thought was cute and made me happy, I would need 2 houses to fill with all of the model horses. So anyways, I think I'm gonna cave with this one because he's so fun. His color's beautiful, and I love his hat. So he's very cute. I would also love, I do like the old timer. I would love to have that web special on him and the event model, the like Bay Roan event model that's on him. So nice. I would like both of those. So maybe I do want to conga the old timer. At least like the modern colors on him. He's so cute. Okay, moving on. The next one is Future is Bright, which is a dappled Palomino on the new Criollo. And this one kind of throws a wrench in everything that I just said about mane tail splits because we have actually seen that this one will have a mane tail split. We know based on the release of this horse that this mold does have multiple mane variations because the only other release we've seen on him was the Premier Club horse that came with a roached mane. Or not roached, I forget what the style is called, but it's like just shaved, just no mane. Roached is when there's like a little something something, it's just mohawk. This is like mane gone, no mane, no hair, bald. And then when this model, the Future is Bright, got previewed, we saw, oh, he has hair, so this mold does have a version that has hair. But that Breyer released an ad recently that I don't think was supposed to have this picture on it, but it did. And it showed Future is Bright with the shaved mane version. So we do know that that exists in some capacity. So it's very possible that that might be the only mane split that we see, which rules out my theory about the show jumping warm blood. We don't know. They could do it with more than one horse if they felt like it. It also rules out the theory of the Britian being 2 heavy variations. They can do whatever they want. They could do a mane tail split on everything if they wanted to. We just haven't historically seen that. So who knows? Who knows? But we do know that there is, in some capacity, there exists a version of this horse that does have the shaved mane because it was in a preview photo. So do with that what you will. Okay, next is the non-equine. It's a little puppy dog. It's supposed to be an Aussie, I think, but it's on the collie mold. And it comes, it's so cute. All their accessories are so cute this year. It comes with a Cheers to 75 Years bandana. It's very cute. And I'm not like, I don't know a lot about dog breeds, but I've been told that this like color and this mold is quite good for what it is. And it seems like he's very popular. I don't need this one personally. I have enough other animals and wildlife to last me forever. But it's really cute, and I do like the color, and I feel like if I had to pick one more to get other than the ones that I've already talked about, it would probably be this one. Because I think he's really well done, and I love the bandana. And Breyer dogs are just cute. They're just cute. Okay. That was it for special rounds. Yeah. Okay. So, moving on. All right, prize model time. Okay, first we will talk about the Best Customs Contest prize models, which historically, the way they have done the BCC prize models is they are a Premier Club horse and Premier Club pattern. So the pattern that was on that original Premier Club release, done in different base coats. So they did a couple years where it was a bay base coat. They did a couple years where it was a shaded black base coat. And they are now on to this like fiery coppery chestnut base coat, which I love. I love my BCC stablemate from last year. He's one of my favorite minis in my collection. He's so fun. And they have carried that chestnut color into 2025. This year, I don't know how to pronounce this. Zirkel is Hungarian for cheers. And it is Yasmin in this bright, fiery chestnut color. So she is the contest winner prize model. So you have to win first place in your respective division to win this horse. She's really pretty. A lot of people really like Yasmin. I really like Yasmin. I don't collect her, but I do really like the mold. And she looks really pretty in this fiery chestnut color. The pattern with how much of that chestnut color is actually present in the Yasmin pattern, she looks really nice. And then the mini is Skal, which is Icelandic for cheers. With the BCC stablemates, it's not quite as, the pattern doesn't quite fit as well. Historically, there kind of is no pattern except for that it's the same concept where it's a coat that already existed in some capacity, done in whatever color scheme they're on. So in this case, it's that like coppery, fiery chestnut. This year's horse, let's see if I can pronounce his name, Skal. It's the Icelandic mold in a coat that we've seen on this mold before, but it was a Stablemates Club horse. It wasn't a Premier Club stablemate. They've used this mold as a Premier Club stablemate, but it wasn't this pattern. And for example, I Forgot That You Existed was never a Premier Club stablemate. Murado, the mold rather, was never related to or associated with the Premier Club. He came out as a new Stablemates Club mold. And the pattern that they used for the BCC prize was the original Murado pattern, just with this like chestnut color. So there's like, it's all connected, but the stablemates there's like less of a pattern with them than there is with the traditionals. The traditionals, it's very cut and paste pattern with a different base coat. Hi! You got the zooms in you, huh? This year's model is the Icelandic in this pretty splash color with, or this pretty splash pattern with the chestnut color. Not my cup of tea, personally. I don't collect the Icelandic stablemate, but he is really cool, and I do really like this chestnut color, obviously, because I have last year's and I love him. So I like the color. The mold is just not personally my style. So I won't be trying for one this year, but I'm sure those that win these will be very happy with them. Okay, and then the last models that have been released to date are the BreyerFest Open Show overall prize models. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, so we'll start with the reserve. The reserve overall prize model is on the Clydesdale Stallion mold. Chinchin, that's how they say to pronounce his name, Chinchin, is how Italians say cheers. To me, it kind of sounds like clink clink of cups. I don't know. That's what I thought of. Anyways, he's like this interesting strawberry roan color. So the overall reserve champion winners at the open show will receive this guy. I think, does it say a run count? It does not, and I'm not doing the math. But they're also very limited, just like the BCC prize models are. And then today we got the overall grand prize model for the BreyerFest Open Show, and it is a bay Carrick. Sante is his name, and it is how the French wish you good health. Sante. It's a bay Carrick with some chrome, and this guy will go home with the overall grand champions of the open show. They're both fine. Neither one of them particularly interests me, but winning one, no matter what it is, winning a prize model is an incredible honor, whether it's something that, you know, you would normally collect or otherwise. They're both lovely. They're just not necessarily on molds I collect. The overall prize models are interesting. This is an interesting combination of a vintage and a more modern. They've, at least historically, tended to kind of like go right down the middle with mold age. It really just depends on the year. They can kind of be anything. But that's what we have for this year. We don't know the sectional prize models yet. Historically, we won't know those until the week of BreyerFest. I had a strong hunch that either Cody's Wish or the regular run Salvino were going to show up as sectional prize models this year. But I did not think that they would do two Glossy Bay sport horses. I no longer think that Cody's Wish is going to show up as a Glossy because the overall prize model is also a bay Carrick. We have many of those at this point. So I don't think that they would do the overall as a bay Carrick and then one of the sectionals as a bay Carrick. I don't think they would do that. So that means I believe strongly that it is likely that, let's see, I don't know if you can see Totalist. No, you can see the Salinero version, but I believe strongly that the regular run Salvino on the Totalist mold is going to show up as a sectional prize model, which will put me in danger because I love the regular run matte version, and I think that color and gloss would be lovely. So that's my only guess. I have no idea what the other one could be. I would have said Mark of Charm, but we got him for Breyer Midwest in Kansas. But I think we're going to see that Salvino as a sectional. Just a hunch. He's popular and that color and gloss would be beautiful. So I don't know what the other one would be. I have no idea. No idea about the raffles other than I'm shocked that Pam has not shown up anywhere. Like I said earlier, I don't know if they would ever use a vintage mold as a raffle horse mold. That's not really their trend. But I'm so surprised that she hasn't shown up anywhere. And I do like the theory about Huckleberry Bay. The theory is that he's the only silhouette in the decos that have come out for the 75th anniversary that hasn't been made into a model yet. So he's got to show up somewhere too. Pam and Huck haven't shown up anywhere yet, and I feel like they both have to. We got the Clydesdale Stallion, we got the Moody Clock Horse, we got the Old Timer, the 5-gator showed up as an auction lot, which on that note, they've only released one set of auction lots yet. I never talk about the auction lots in this video because we never know what all of them are. But we've seen like 3 or 4 of them, and one of them was a 5-gator. So we've got all of these like classic vintage molds that have been used this year, but we haven't seen Pam and we haven't seen Huck. And I feel like they're both beloved vintage molds. So we'll see. We also haven't seen Misty, and she's pretty beloved too, so maybe I'm just making stuff up, but I thought for sure that Pam was going to show up somewhere this year, and she hasn't yet. And if they were going to do a crazy year where they did vintage molds for the raffle horses, I feel like this would be the year to do it, but it's very unlikely, and I know that. I just like Pam, okay? I know it's very unlikely. So we'll see. We don't know right now. We typically don't know the raffle horses until they release the program, which is not for another few weeks yet. So at least at time of filming. So at time of filming, we don't know the sectional prizes. We don't know the raffle horses. And we've only seen a fraction of the auction lots. So we'll see more as time goes on, but that's typically what I like to have revealed when I film this video, is at least the overall prize models. Everything else, it just gets too close to the date of BreyerFest to fit it all in. So those are my thoughts about all of the horses. Now really quick, I would like to talk about my BreyerFest and what I have planned. So you heard me talk about my thoughts and opinions about the models, at least at this point. But as far as my schedule, it's gonna be a crazy one. Just like last year. Not quite as insane as last year, I don't think, but kind of a different flavor of insane. Last year was insane because I was in Kentucky for 9 days. Myself and all of my lovely roommates, God bless them, were in Kentucky for 9 days because I was showing at nationals. And when I told my roommates that, I was like, you guys don't have to be there all 9 days with me. I understand that this is insane. And like, you guys can show up whenever you want. And they were like, you know what? That sounds great. We'll like do touristy stuff those days leading up to BreyerFest. So we all were there for 9 days and it was crazy. And they did like farm tours and fun stuff and I did nationals. And it was amazing. And I don't regret it at all. It was like one of my top hobby experiences of all time. It was so amazing. But all of that to say, we don't have nationals this year. North American Nationals does not happen every year anymore. So no nationals this year, which means that I'm reverting back to what I did in 2023, and I'm arriving on Wednesday. I am staying at the Clarion with a friend. We are not selling. We decided to protect our peace and completely close off our room to all sales. We are just there for the vibes and the experience and the energy and the shopping. We are not selling ourselves. We're not letting other people sell out of our room. We need like a little sanctuary of peace. I'm the type of person where I like to be able to engage in the craziness and then leave and go be at peace. Because contrary to popular belief and the fact that I have a YouTube channel, I am introverted. I'm very introverted. And so I need to recharge, especially at an event like BreyerFest where it is so socially heavy. So we could like set that boundary. We said, you know what? Because people were asking us, oh, can we sell out of your room? Can we sell out of your room? We were like, we love you, but no, we're not going to do that. So anyways, we're staying at the Clarion. A very good friend and I are staying at the Clarion, but we are not selling. We are just experiencing. And it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. So anyways, I'm arriving Wednesday as early as I can get there, honestly, to just walk around, do some room sales. When we're able to check into the hotel, checking into the hotel, getting settled. And then Wednesday evening, NAMSA and Stone Horses, sponsored by Stone Horses, are hosting this event where they're going to have like snacks and drinks, and they're doing judging clinics. So live show judging clinics. They're doing a couple of different like sessions that you can go to. I think one is for halter, one might be for workmanship. sportsmanship. The one that I'm the most interested in is performance. There is a judging session that you can go to and watch for performance. That's the one I'm going to be going to because I'm trying to get into performance showing. I haven't talked about it on YouTube at all, but I've been working on it. I've started developing some props and some bases and some plans. I have commissioned a couple tack sets, so I'm learning, and this is like a great way to learn more before I actually show performance for the first time. It's super cheap. I think for members it's like $20, and for non-members it's like $30 or $35, something like that. If you go to the NAMSA website, it's all over their website. But anyways, it's a really cool idea to do in Kentucky on a year where there's not a NAN, to instead like still do something, but something that's educational and like productive, and it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. So I'll be there. And that goes until pretty late on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I will be at the Resin Renaissance all day. I am judging this year. And I'm incredibly honored and excited to be doing that. I am judging the traditional halter division. I'm so excited. I have gone to Resin Renaissance the past couple of years, not as a competitor, but just as a bystander to watch and take pictures and to visit my friends that were showing. And this year I get to judge, and I'm thrilled and honored, and it's going to be such a good day. So I will be doing that all day on Thursday until it ends, and then when it ends, I will be at the Clarion room sales and doing a couple drop-offs, pickups, stuff like that. The Artisans Gallery doesn't open until Friday, so probably just room sales and meeting up with people on Thursday. Maybe a fun dinner, who knows. Friday, as always, is the open show. I will be at the open show all day. So Thursday and Friday, model horse showing all day. I'm so excited. I love the open show. I am doing the novice collectors class, and I'm only showing on Friday, so I am showing traditionals. I'm not showing minis this year. Next year is a totally different story. We didn't have all the facts about how everything was going to shake out as far as what was going what days when I made all of my scheduling decisions and volunteer commitments. So this year I am showing Friday, I'm showing my traditionals, and I'm showing in the novice collectors class. Next year I will probably show on Thursday, and I will probably do minis and maybe performance. I don't know if I'll ever be a 2-day girly. The logistics just don't make sense to me to do that. That's a tale for a different time, but I don't see myself ever doing that. So I believe probably next year I'll do Thursday, but this year I am doing Friday. So I will be at the open show all day on Friday. And then I'm going to the Art of the Horse dinner, the Stone Art of the Horse dinner at the Griffin Gate Friday evening. We had such a fun time doing that last year, and it was just like such a nice break from the chaos of everything to like sit down and have a nice dinner in the middle of the week. Like dress up and like feel nice and not gross and sweaty in the Kentucky heat. Anyways, it was really fun. We enjoyed it. So we're doing that again this year. Saturday is where things start to get dicey. Everything up to this point has been pretty straightforward. Like, this day I'm doing this day I'm doing that. Saturday, well, I should preface by saying that I was honored and very lucky to have been given a position doing a demonstration at the Hobby Information booth at BreyerFest this year. I'm very excited for it. I'm honored that they thought that my concept was worthy of that position. I'll throw some pictures on the screen, but I'm doing a demonstration to discuss and give instructions on how to make a shadow box out of your celebration horse. I've posted videos briefly discussing the process and how I do it and what goes into it the past few years, but this is going to be much more thorough. It'll be step-by-step instructions, a materials list, everything you need. I will be in the Hobby Information booth with these examples that you're seeing on the screen, as well as examples of materials. I'll be there to answer any questions and chat and just show off the finished pieces. I'll be there for a couple hours Saturday and a couple hours on Sunday. I will put the exacts on the screen. It's gonna be super fun, and I am thrilled for the opportunity to be able to do that. But that's the big preface, is I kind of have to base the rest of my plans on Saturday and Sunday around those hours that I will be at the HIB. So that said, Saturday, before noon, I have to go look at the auction models at the visitor center. I like to go and be snoopy and take pictures and video of the auction models in the glass cabinets before they get pulled for the auction. So that's kind of my number one priority to do early in the morning before they get pulled. Then I have to head over to BreyerFest proper. I have to grab a volunteer model for my judging position on Thursday. I have to grab my 5K packet and number for Sunday. I have to grab that on Saturday because they leave at like 1 p.m. on Saturday, and then you're just like out of luck. You don't get your stuff. So I have to get that. Same with the volunteer model. It's my only opportunity to go pick up the volunteer models. Like, I have to do both of those things. And then I have to do all of my shopping before noon. So I have to go through the Breyer store and get all of my limited editions. And then I have to run the SR and Celebration Horse line. I do have help that has been offered, at least for the two lines, the SR and the Celebration Horse line, because I might run out of time. But I do have friends that have offered to help run those lines for me. I would just have to give them my QR codes. So I do have help if I don't wind up having time to do all of those things between 9 and noon. Then I will be doing my demo in the afternoon, and then when that ends, it will either be, depending on what the raffle horses are, I'll go watch the raffle be pulled, and then we're going to the auction. Post-auction, Saturday's pretty much fair game. We're gonna go back to the Clarion, we're gonna eat, we're gonna room shop, we're gonna have a fantastic time. And then hopefully I will get some sleep, because then Sunday I wake up very early to go run the 5K, and I go straight from the 5K to the hobby information booth to do my demo on Sunday. So I will be there for a few hours on Sunday, and then I have roughly an hour break before I have to go volunteer for another 2-hour shift at one of the shuttle stations, just to fulfill my hour count for my demos. And then it's pretty much the end of BreyerFest. I should be able to watch the raffle pull if it's something that I buy tickets for. And then teardown happens. I collect my volunteer model for the demos. And then I'm meeting friends for dinner on Sunday. And I am spending Sunday night, because I think that if I tried to drive the 5 hours home after that day being what it is, I don't think I would make it. I think that I would wind up pulling over and having to sleep through the night. So I said I will avoid that situation altogether. I'll just spend Sunday night in Kentucky, sleep in as late as the Clarion will let me, check out, and then hit the road and leisurely pull into my home at like 4 or 5 p.m. And then I'll be much more rested to go back to work on Tuesday, instead of maybe getting home at midnight if I make it all the way and then scrambling to work on Monday. That just sounds absolutely terrible. So I will not be doing that. Taking Monday, I think that if you can, that's always the best option if you are a working adult. That's what I've done the past 2 years, and I like thought about not doing it this year because I did just start a new job in April, and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that's not going to be productive for anyone, because I'm going to be dragging ass. I'm not going to be mentally engaged the way I need to be to do my job well. So I'm just taking Monday, and I will return on Tuesday. So those are my BreyerFest plans. Throughout all of that, I will get to see, I believe, all of my friends that I at least know are going at some point or another, even if it's brief, which is so important to me. And I think being at the Clarion, staying there will allow me to do that even more so and see even more people. which is exciting. And yeah, I'm excited for the models. I'll come home with a decent amount of the actual event models. I've got 2 pickups that I'm really excited for that you guys will see. I've got one that I just purchased online that'll probably be here close to BreyerFest that I think I'm gonna include in my BreyerFest haul, because she came out of my BreyerFest budget. I'm just not getting her in Kentucky, so I think I'm gonna count her. I'm excited to see the 3rd color on the volunteer horse. We'll see. I don't know what it is. I have some theories, but I don't know what it is. But I'm excited. I'm hoping to wind up with a full set of the 3. I got the black one in Kansas, so I just need the gray and then the mystery 3rd color. So hopefully I can trade around to get a full set of those Duendes. I love him. He's so cool. I love Duende. I love the colors, the first 2 colors at least that they've done. And I'm sure I'll love the 3rd one too. So I'm excited about them. I'm excited about the horses I'm picking up. I'm excited to see all of my friends and just to be there again. I'm just really excited. I look forward to it so much. So that, I think, covers everything. We talked about all of the models. We talked about my plans. And yeah, as far as next videos, you will of course get my collection tour at the beginning of BreyerFest week, and then my 2 videos that always follow BreyerFest, my experience and my haul. So that's all for now, and I will see you guys in the collection tour.